Can you see
Ahí
it?
empezamos a grabar entonces.
Okay, are you watching this?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So, well, this is my first class here, like I just said, class 1. Well, I do it because I'm used to do it with children. You have to say today is 24th of September 2020. That's one way to start. Um, you're following me, right?
Yes.
I cannot see. So
Yes.
talk to me. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you remember which were the topics that I talked to you about on Thursday last week?
What makes us human?
Yes, very good. So, all of you, what makes us human, in your opinion?
I think maybe the language is like very important to us because it's the way that we communicate to each other, and it's different from another animals because we have the ability to reason, and through the communication and through the language we can like express ourselves and our thoughts.
Very good. David?
I have more like a philosophical answer, but I would say what different. Okay. Then I think what makes us human is probably that there are things that we know we do wrong, and then there are things that we know they're right, and that's because animals, they just do what they do because they consider it's their nature to do it. More like humans, we do know where
that seems more like Jean-Paul Sartre's philosophy. It's a very good answer. Well, I wish there had been more people to ask, but it's only the two of you. So I'm going to start with my activity. In my opinion, something that makes us human is language, like Abril said. You were talking about language, right, Abril?
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, she was right all along. It was language. Another thing that I considered quite human was art. None of you, did any of you thought about art?
Not really.
No, not really. No.
Well, sometimes animals make beautiful forms of art, but well, we make even better. All right, another one is, well, obviously tools and technology. Even though some animals, like birds, they can build stuff like nests. We because have evolved in different ways. We have the ability to create different types of advanced technology and tools. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Danila, you're there, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Right.
I'm silenced.
Yes.
Because of my dog.
No, it's okay. I just want to know whether you're still online. I'm not sure because I cannot see anyone. All right. And so, well, we can also learn from each other. Did you thought about that? We can watch others and we can learn from what they do and And that's a very interesting aspect of humankind. Well, so another thing, I would say it's clothing and fire. Wouldn't you say that? I mean,
What
our
does it
greatest
mean?
achievement. What?
What it means, clothing and fire?
I mean, that what I mean is that something that makes us human is that we tend to uh, create clothes, and well, we discovered fire
Oh,
many
okay.
millions of thousands of years ago, and that was a great achievement. Well, we also have long childhoods because remember that when we are born, we are helpless and useless because we cannot do anything by ourselves. We're just helpless babies. Well, we also walk upright like primates do, which is what the basis of Darwin's evolution theory. Are you are you familiar with it?
Kind of.
Sort
Well,
of. Yes.
it is actually a myth that he talked about evolving from primates. He actually used it more or less as a metaphor when he published his journal about evolution, but people just took it literally. And well, obviously, we have different types of brains from our cousins, the primates. Would you say that it's bigger or smaller than primates? Which is your opinion?
I think it's smaller.
I would say it's uh, yeah,
What?
a little bit
Sorry?
bigger. I would say bigger than primates.
Hmm. Yes, well, I cannot remember much, so I would say that they just make us different because we tend to suppress some instincts over others. So we have evolved different types of um, sections in our brain. And well, also, you see that people can have, they can create a whole life for themselves even after they are unable to carry children. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah,
It's like when we grow old
Yeah.
and we are unfertile. Wouldn't you say that is something that makes us human?
of course.
Life of children. Uh, I don't know. I mean, in terms of animals, I mean,
Well,
I would say the other animals experience loss as we do in terms of hey, we lost like our cub or our son or I mean in terms of other animals, they lose their infant and their infant and they still go on. I would say or try to go on.
yes, well, the main focus is that we don't live just to reproduce ourselves. It's, I mean, it's
Ah,
part of
okay.
our life cycle, but it's not the main one. Okay, so for today, I have a very interesting text, quite long, but we're gonna try to think it through. It's really interesting. You'll love it. And well, this is my console. I'm a magician because I really know how to animate it. Okay, so now I'm going to present the text, and one of you is going to read it. Who wants to start? For instance, with this one, number one.
Okay, I'll go first. Um, The human trait that sets us apart the most from the animal kingdom is our brain. The human gives us the ability to reason and think on our feet beyond the capabilities of the rest of the animal kingdom.
For instance, which would be the title of this section here? Remember what I just showed you in the previous part? Abril?
Maybe our brain.
All right, let's see. Yes, very good. This part here, we'll leave it just, it's another activity, but we'll leave it later on. Later. Okay, Abril, can you read number 2?
Yeah. Humans are unique among the primates in how walking fully upright is our chief mode of locomotion. This frees our hands up for using tools. Unfortunately, this also results in change to the pelvis which, in combination with the large brains of our babies, makes humans' childbirth unusually dangerous compared to the rest of the animal kingdom.
So, for instance, which would be the title of this section here? Remember?
Walking upright.
Walking upright, yeah, and long childhoods, or long childhoods, I would say.
Well, let's see. For both of you, please try to take notes of the words in bold, because we're gonna use it for another activity, and because they are quite useful, maybe as nouns or as adjectives. Do you have something to write?
Yeah.
On? Well, if you can't, please try to write these words down. And who was the one who said walking upright?
The both of us.
Ah, very good, girl. So yes, it was walking upright. This would be the title of this section here. You will see that all the sections are missing one final part, and we will try to work it on later in the activity session. Daniela, are you still there?
Yes.
Very good. Okay,
Just
so
checking.
David, can you read number 3?
Okay. It seems a puzzling paradox that for all our brilliance, human babies come into the world so useless and helpless. Therefore, humans remain in the care of their parents much longer than other primates because we need a long time to grow and learn. We don't have to learn to walk and talk, but...
Well, try to write down this word puzzling.
Okay.
It's a very interesting one. Which would be the title of this section here? Remember?
Yes, long childhood.
And Abril?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it was long childhood. Very good, guy. Abril, can you read number 4?
Yeah. Many species communicate with vocal sounds, but language is a special form of communication. Full language with grammar rules probably originated at some point about 15,000 years ago. DNA evidence and studies about how language changed all provide clues, but spoken language leaves few traces. Chimpanzees use gestures and vocal calls to communicate. It is possible our ancestors also expressed themselves first with gestures or simple words. Then blank space.
Okay, which would... What?
I just
Blank
say blank
space, yes.
space, yeah.
Which will be the title of number 4?
Language.
Obviously.
Language. Yes, I think so. Sure.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Alex.
Yes.
Fine.
Hola.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, you are quite studying. You are studying now. Okay, so I'm greeting you and then goodbye.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
yes,
good.
it's just to say hi. Okay,
Bye bye.
very good. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Daniela, you're still there, right?
Yes.
Very good. I have several emergency exits on several slides. At some point, if you think that it's taking too long, you can tell me. There's no problem. All right, so now this is part 2. We have several more sections to read about. And so, who was the one who read last time?
I was.
All right. So, David, can you read number 5?
Okay. None knows if music was invented before or after language. Music might have served many functions for early humans. It could have been used for courtships, territorial claims, and unite social
Uniting.
groups. Uniting social groups. Thanks. Whatever its original uses, music is now present in every human culture,
Implying, sorry, I forgot. Which would be the title for this section here?
Music.
art, maybe.
Not sure.
I would say art.
Art, yeah.
No, music. I think I forgot to include it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Well, then it's music. Very good, guys. Okay, Abril.
We create art to communicate, depict the material world, and stir emotions. Where did this urge to create come from, and when did it strike for the first time? European cave paintings of astonishing beauty date back as far as 35,000 years and blank space.
Blank space. So, which would be the title for this section here?
Art.
Art.
Very good. Art. Yes. And David?
Yes. Life is hard to imagine without tools. We use them every day, and we have for a very long time. Our ancestors made the first stone tools at least tools at least 2.5 million years ago, long before modern humans evolved. Since then, our ability to invent has taken us far beyond our basic needs for food and shelter.
So, which would be the title for this part? Remember?
Tools and technology.
Abril?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right, let's check whether it's tools and technology. Very good, guys. So, this is for Abril. Can you read number 8?
Yep. Our unique brains and how to pronounce that word?
Dexterity.
Dexterity of our hands make amazing feats of tool use possible, but also rely on the cultural transmission of ideas. We put our heads together, we share ideas, and learn from each other, recognizing a past, a present, and a future. We learn from the past, build on this in the present, and anticipate the future. Without culture, no space.
Sorry, please, are you still writing the words in bold?
Yeah.
Yes, but I need the in the text number 4. I don't have the word.
Okay, so here, can you write it down?
Yes, thank you.
Tell me when you're ready. So, which would be the title for number 8?
Maybe learning from each other.
I think so.
Yes,
Let's.
learning from each other.
Yes, very good, guys. Learning. Because we learn from each other. We pass on our knowledge from generation to the other. Do you think that animals learn from each other?
I think so.
Yes. I mean the mother or I think has to show in their infants the way to hunt, for instance, or in case of an animal who eats meat, for instance. Or for a very good example is like an elephant mother who must taught her infant actually the road to water, things like that, because there are not too many, so they need to remember where the water must be.
Yeah, you can also think about the fact that they may have to learn how to fly, how birds have to fly, which is why
Yeah.
we tend to see pigeons falling down from trees because they're learning on their own, the same way that babies learn to walk because they fall, and let's hope they don't kill themselves, but sometimes they do. That is very sad. I really feel bad about it. Okay, so this is part 3.
Well, I think that,
Sorry?
oh, sorry. I think that is like learning from experience. But the
Yeah,
difference with humans, it's like we create this
we learn from others.
intellectual knowledge, and we have ideas and something a little bit more abstract. So that's another type of learning, I think.
Yes, more or less. You mean like, yes, abstract knowledge. That was what you said.
Just to add something.
Yes, and I swear this is the final part because I'm not sure if you're very tired. You're just 2 people. Okay, Avril, who was the one who read last time?
I was.
Well,
Okay.
David?
Most animals reproduce until they die, but human females survive long after ceasing reproduction. This might be due to the social bonds seen in humans. Grandparents can help ensure the success of their families.
Da 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 da. Yes. Please keep on writing the words. Did you write the word here on long childhood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Puzzling. Yes. Ah, sorry. Feet off here. Did you write it down?
Yep.
Very good.
Yes.
Please tell me if you haven't written something down, if you haven't been unable. Okay, so now, Abril, read the last one here.
Humans are sometimes called naked apes because we look naked compared to our hairier ape cousins. We just have thinner, shorter, lighter hairs, and we use clothing and fire to keep warm. The development of clothing and our ability to control fire enabled humans to inhabit colder parts of the world. Fire also gave us cooking, which some scientists suggest influenced human evolution because cooked foods are easier to chew and digest.
Yes. Very good. Sorry, I forgot to ask you. Which would be the title for this part? Do you remember?
Life of the children.
Life after something. Yes.
Oh.
Life after children. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Life after children. Okay, and number 10, which will be the title for that part?
That's the easy one, clothing and fire.
Well, don't make it so. Clothing and fire. Very good. Daniela, you're there, right?
Yes, I'm amazed about the animation. I don't know how you do it.
Well, I can see too. It's a very trust me, it's going to drive you crazy, but it's worth it because you are not afraid of anything. There's always it'll always come out the way you want it to be. Okay, so now we're going to work with the final part of each sentence. After, for instance, which type of sentence would it be? For instance, let's go with the first one here. Abril, can you read it?
Like the sentence?
The first one here, letter A.
Yeah,
first
the
sentence.
capacity for music evolved early in our history.
For instance, both of you, that would be the final line from which section? Do you remember?
For the music, maybe?
Yes. Let me check. David? Which would you think that we can say a capacity for music evolved early in our history after implying that? Or in any other?
No, I would say music.
All right, so let's check. Let's check. In A, so yes, it is 5. Very good. For instance, did you realize that it's mostly because there is another relative clause after word that here, and so you don't need a closed caption or there is no stop here, so that's why maybe. That's very useful for understanding the final parts of each sentence in a test, for instance. You should well take note of that.
Mm-hmm.
And David, can you read the letter B?
Okay. They are among the oldest visual images discovered so far.
And so, both of you, that would be the ending parts of which section?
I will say art.
Yes, art. Yes, art.
Okay, let's check. Art was number 6. Okay. Number 6. Very good. And Abril, can you read letter C?
From telephones to toothbrushes, from cars to computers.
So, for instance, to which section would that ending line would correspond? Both of you.
I would say the text, tools and technology.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's check. For instance, need for food and shelter. So, Abril, if you add this part here to number 2, well, let's not do that because we're gonna get sick. Sorry, it's because it's all virtual classroom. That's very hard to read that way. Well, you say it's all number 7. Yes, very good. Number 7. Nice, very good, guys. I'm really impressed. Nice, you have a good reading skill. You're gonna need it. Well, who was the one who read last time?
I
Me.
was.
Abril or David?
Sorry. Each new generation would be forced to reinvent the wheel.
So, both of you, which would be that would be the ending line of which section?
Learning from each other, maybe.
Okay, let's see. David?
I would say the one long after childhood, maybe. Number 3.
3. You mean life after children? Or long? No, you said long childhood.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm wrong.
Long childhood. Yes. So let's check. Long childhood. Reinvent the wheel. No,
No.
I think it's number 8. Who? I think it's learning from each other then. Who was the one who said
Yes.
that?
I was.
Abril.
And well, Abril, can you read letter E?
Developed rules for linking into sentences.
Abril, can you pronounce it developed?
Developed.
Yeah, you have to put a final T here. It looks like an ED, but it's final T. Sometimes in slang, in informal slang, it may go develop it, or develop it, but it would actually go as developed.
Okay,
So
developed.
in this case, to which section does it correspond? Sorry, what is that?
I don't hear anything.
Sorry, I think I heard something. So, well, let's read it again. Develop rules for linking into sentences. Which would be the end in the corresponding section? Would it be this one?
Language.
Language.
Then, well, develop rules for linking into sentences. Gestures, so simply. So let's check. Develop rules. Number 4. Yes, I think it's language. Very good. Did you both say that?
Yes.
Very good, guys. Yes, so Abril, can you read letter F? Sorry, what?
I think it was me.
Sorry, David?
Abril read the last one.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
David, can you read that?
We do have to learn such things as reading, writing, and sharing with others.
Can you think of any section that it would correspond? Check.
Yes, number 3. Long childhood.
3. Long childhood. Yes, it's number 3 here. Abril, can you read letter T?
It gave us the works of Einstein, Mozart, and many other geniuses.
So, both of you, to which section would this one go?
The first one, our brains.
Yes.
Our brains. Well, all right, let's check here. Very good. Well, the first section, number 1. David, I think it's your turn. Letter H.
Thus contributing to bigger brains and a reduction in tooth and gut size.
So, for instance, which would be the ending part? Which would be the section? To which section?
Excuse me. How do you pronounce contribute?
Contributing. Contributing. Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Contributing.
That's contributing. Yes. Bigger brains. Can you think of any section?
Maybe it's the last one, clothing and fire.
Well, you said clothing and fire. Do you agree, David?
I mean, focus Aristotle. Yes. Yes, clothing and fire.
Okay, so it's clothing and fire. Who was the one who read last time?
Me.
So, Abril, can you read letter I?
Long after themselves can have children.
Very good. To which section, both of you, do you think that would correspond?
Life after children.
Do you agree, David?
Yes. Life after children. Yes.
Well, in a perfect world, I would make you write them right next to each section, but well, in this part here, we don't have the ability to do it. So yes, it's number 9. David, can you read letter J? J.
A century ago, childbirth was a leading cause of death for women.
So which would be, to which section would this correspond?
Two.
Yeah, walking upright.
Unusually dangerous in the rest of the animal kingdom. Well, for instance, did you notice that sometimes the one that starts in capital letters, they mean that this section starts right after a period.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
for instance, here it says walking upright, and you have a period there, and so the next phrase here is going to start with a capital letter, such as a century ago, and the same goes for G here. It's a very good idea for if you do have this type of exercise in a test. So keep that in mind if for future reference. If in the path exam you have this type of exercise. Okay, so yes, it was number 2. Number 2. So well, I have a final activity. Did you write down all the words in bold?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Did you recognize any of them?
Do you mean like
Did you
meaning?
know? Did you know what they all mean?
Most
Okay.
of them.
Yes, most of them.
For instance, do you know what is fetal?
So it's like
I don't know it, so if you know it, it's even better. Okay, this is a classic matching activity because, well, we don't have a lot to. There isn't much to work with it on the slides. So, well, this is all I can do with you.
I'm intrigued.
Well,
What does
in this,
the back to the beginning button does?
what?
Back to the beginning. It's a button. Back to the beginning.
Yes, it's
Oh my
back to the
god.
beginning. It's not back to the future, it's just back to the beginning. Okay, so activity number 2. Here, you have to match the words involved with their synonyms. I'm gonna give you, well, if you don't know what feet of means, no, don't worry, because I'm gonna give you a synonym for each expression. For instance, what does trait mean? Do you know what?
It's like an ability or something like that, or like a description for something. I don't know how.
Characteristic.
Yes, exactly.
What did you say?
Characteristic.
Yeah, I think it's another synonym for it. Very good. And chief, do you know what chief means?
It's like your boss. Chief. No.
Chief. I think it's in part 2, right? I think urge functions. No,
Yeah.
I think
No.
part 1 maybe. Chief mode, for instance. If I say chief mode here, what am I referring to?
It's like a principal mode or
Yeah, it's
a
like
main mode.
The main one, you know.
The main one, very good.
Or the most important, I would say.
Part 2. So, and puzzling. Do you know what puzzling means?
Like a mystery?
Well, think of what is a puzzle?
Un rompecabezas.
Yes, that's a puzzle in Spanish. Very good. So, how would you define it in English? Puzzle.
It's like
Well, don't define it. Give me a synonym for a puzzle. Well, don't worry. Because I'm taking. I think I'm. Daniela, am I good with the time?
Yes, yes, don't worry.
Because we have a. I think we have another. This is
know.
the final one, so don't worry. So well, and traces, few traces, for instance, which would, what does it mean? I think it's in.
Traces is like evidence, and few
yes,
traces
Few
traces
means
traces.
or
like
pieces.
Pieces. Very
Yes.
good, I think. Yes. So yes, very good. And functions. I think this is a very transparent one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, so if it's transparent, can you give me a synonym for functions?
uses.
Yes.
And
Or
very good. And what is an urge? Do you know what is an urge here?
it's like something that gives you an anxiety, I think, or gives you a rush to do something.
Yes, yes. Very good. Abril, what would, do you know
Yeah,
the word urge?
yeah. I think in the text it's more like desire.
It's like we have the urge to create.
Yeah,
So what would it
we
be?
have the
Yes,
desire
it's
to
like the
create.
rush, or yes, exactly.
Anxiety. Yes, we have to create something. Um, future urge. And do you know what is ancestors? I think that's another transparent word.
Yeah,
So
but
well, can you give me
I
a
don't
synonym?
know if I don't know any synonyms.
Uh,
Ancestors.
Synonyms, no, but grandparents could be one. I don't know.
Yes. Not quite, but they count as ancestors, your ancestors. And well, do you know what feet up? Well, we just said that we don't know much what feet up mean, right? You don't have you heard it?
mm, I don't think so.
Fits of. I think. I mean, fits. I think it means achievement or something like that.
Feet of tool use.
Could it be?
Um, Amazing feet of tool use. So think, for instance, hands making amazing feats of tool use possible. Yeah, it's not very transparent either. But well,
No.
well, the definition is gonna amaze you. Um, because it did amaze me. And what is a bond? I think we have read about it on bonding, right? I think it's a new type of
Yes.
psychological therapy. What is bond?
I would say it's like you're tied to something,
Yeah, it's like a
or
tie.
And Aurel, can you give me another synonym for bond? James Bond. Yes.
I don't know. I can't think about something different that David said.
Um,
link, maybe.
yeah, that's another one. Very good. And so, for instance, Ariel, can you give me, and do you know what is inhabit?
Yeah, it's like live in.
Yes, for instance, can you see that the word habit has a meaning, but if you add in, you transform it into a verb. So that's another trait from grammar and from English in general. Sometimes you add prepositions to a word and it transforms into a verb. So, for instance, a word would be bewitched, like enchanted, or besiege, as in destroying something. And so you see that if you add like a preposition before an expression or another auxiliary verb, this is all so that you can recognize words in for future reference. Sometimes in an exam you may see words that you cannot identify, but you may remember that if you have this preposition, you can create it has different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, David, do you know a synonym for inhabit?
Mm, no.
Well, you can say to live in. That would
Mm,
be, or to dwell, and that's another synonym. If I had a whiteboard or a blackboard, I would write it down so that you can both copy that because it's a very interesting verb to dwell. Okay, we have just revised all the words. I'm going to start giving you synonyms from each of them one at a time, and you have to tell me to uh, which word does it correspond to. Which would be the synonym from which word? For instance, forebears. Do you know what is forebears?
No.
no.
I do know either too. Until now. So, for instance, do you remember um, what David said about parents and grandmothers?
Okay. So it's a synonym of ancestors.
Very good. Um, yes, interesting. Very good. I didn't know it. Afterwards, I searched for it on Macmillan Dictionary. If you want, I can leave you the link because it's a very good dictionary. Especially because it has the pronunciation as well, and you can click on it, and it will tell you the pronunciation. It's very useful.
Okay.
It's four bears or
Forebears.
four bears.
Yeah, just think of forebears, and you will remember the word. It's not one bear; it's four bears.
Over.
I found it odd too. And so, Avril, desire. What would it be? A desire. Which is the synonym?
Urge.
Very good. Urge here. Do you, do you can any one of you tell me another synonym for urge or desire?
Mm,
I don't know.
Like an intention?
Well, oh, you can say, for instance, cravings.
Oh,
Cravings with a
training.
C. Do you want to write it down?
Mm-hmm.
Cravings. Cravings. CRAVING. Cravings. It's something that you desperately want. Something that you cannot live without it. You want it now.
I'm craving a chocolate cake.
Yeah, that's a very good use for cravings. That's your desire as well. Something that it's very interesting with what? Sorry, what is that? Something that it's very interesting. You can say desperate urges. That's another. That would be a cool collocation. But well, I don't have an exercise with that. So okay, David. Little evidence. Can you give me which would be the synonym for little evidence?
Uh, mm, traces. Um, on. No, sorry. A few traces. Yes.
Very good. Few traces. Well, traces. It's a synonym for evidence, and you can also say trail with trail. Trail is something that you leave behind, and so well, it is used as a. You can say trail of evidence. That's Daniela. That's another thing that we can use in legal English. It's another few
Yes.
traces. We're gonna use that for future reference. Okay, um, Abril, to live in.
Inhabit.
Very good. Inhabit. Um, well, I cannot think of any other synonym for inhabit and to live in. Well, I just said to dwell. Do you want to write it down? Um,
Yeah.
well, it starts with D W E L L. Dwell. I'm sorry. Yeah, to dwell. I think it ends with a V and an E. Maybe to dwell. Or later on, you can search for it on the dictionary. It may be without the V and E, the final two.
Okay.
It's like when you say to dwell. Yes. Sorry. What is that? I think it's like when we say la morada de alguien o sí, él habita en ese lugar, tiene su morada ahí. That would be the dwell. Then you have dwellings. I'm not sure. Okay, David. Perplexing.
Puzzling.
Puzzling. Yes. Very good. If you can, try to pronounce the z as a z, like a buzzing of the bee. Z. Puzzling. Puzzling. Yes, very good. Puzzling. Perplexing. Try to write all the synonyms as well, because it may be useful afterwards. You can never know when you're gonna need it. Puzzling. Um, are you writing it down?
Yep.
Well, we have several more synonyms, so you'll have time. Okay, what about achievements with?
Fits off, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody would think that it means fits off, but I think I had
Achievements with.
achievements with. I didn't know that it means achievements with. But you can always learn something new. Especially,
Every day.
I do know that it goes. So let's see, for instance, achievements with tool use possible. So that's how you can see that it makes sense. Achievements with, and so um, who was the one who read last time? David, can you say which is the synonym for uses?
Functions.
Yes, functions.
Very good. Can you give me another synonym for uses or functions?
Utilize, maybe? No, sorry.
I wish I could write it all down on a whiteboard. Well, you can say serves as well. Serves as something, or you can utilize it as something, like you just said. But I think utilize it's not conjugated as in uses or functions. You can say utilizes as well. That's a very formal expression. Do you want to write it down? Utilizes, I think. Utilizes. That would be a very nice verb for per paper or an essay. You would say instead of uses or functions or serves, you would say it is utilized as something. Okay, so Abril, can you give me the synonym for main?
Chief.
You said another synonym in the past for. I think it's no. Go back. Chief mode. You gave me another synonym. Which one was it? Remember? Do you remember?
I said main and principal. Like.
Yes, very good. Principal. So yes, it's chief, main, and you can say principal as well. Principal is also the head teacher of a school, but that is irrelevant. I'm not sure because I didn't ask the Brits if they use it in the UK. I'm not sure if that's cool. What about ties? Can you tell me? Can any of you tell me which is the synonym for ties? I think
Bonds.
David said it.
Bonds. Yeah.
Very good. Bonds. Can you give me another synonym for ties? I think David mentioned one.
Link.
Yes, very good. Link. And well, I think it's almost over. What about characteristics?
A trait.
Trait.
Yes. I think who was the one who said characteristic when we talked about traits? I think
I
Gabriel.
was. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So it's characteristics. Characteristics. Ah. Sometimes I have trouble pronouncing it. Yeah, so characteristics as well. Daniela, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Later on, I'm gonna teach you how to do all the magic with all
Okay.
the buttons. It's a very interesting tool, especially if you don't want to reveal something because you prepare animations and sometimes you touch something and it just pops out of the blue, and so it ruins all. So now for all of you, I'm gonna click on my emergency exit, and I'm gonna say thank you all of you. Very good guys.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I have fun.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording